of you this morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, world over, in the different time zones, in the different continents, in the different countries. We extend you a very hearty welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you are taking care of yourself, your health, your wellness, and we pray to Almighty for your well being. Please stay safe, take all the precautions, whatsoever is being conveyed to you in your different countries. So this morning, this afternoon, this evening, while conveying the greenery and the green world all around, let me extend a very hearty welcome to all of us from Canada, United States, Latin America, Central Asia, Middle East, African continent, Mauritius, Seychelles, and people, those are joining us from Afghanistan, those are joining us from Bhutan, those are joining us from Nepal, Maldives, Sri Lanka. At the same time, 10 beautiful countries when we talk about the ASEAN region, which is the fastest growing economy. Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei. We extend all of you a great, great warm welcome. And at the same time, a lot of people are joining us today from Japan also, South Korea also, from Taiwan also, because they wanted to understand what exactly Madam is going to talk about, because her subject is leveraging data to build future-ready Indian cities. So people are very keen. They are very, very enthusiastically waiting. So let me come back to India. नमस्कार प्रणाम आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के शाम के कार्यक्रम में भारत में इस समय जब 5:04 हुए हैं हम सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं और खासकर अनीता काने मैडम का जो प्रिंसिपल कंसल्टेंट हैं फॉर्मर प्रिंसिपल कंसल्टेंट टाटा कंसल्टेंसी सर्विसेज के साथ और इन्होंने बहुत सारा कार्य किया है बहुत सारा काम किया है और आज यह हमारा सौभाग्य है कि आज बुधवार 21 अक्टूबर 2020 को वह हमारे सम्मुख हैं हमारे साथ हैं और हमसे बातचीत करेंगी leveraging data to build future ready Indian cities. So ladies and gentlemen, people those have enjoyed because I left intentionally in between. Some of the people were yet to join us after their lunch from European Union. So we extend you a very hearty welcome. And Africa, I know people are joining from Kenya, Uganda, Senegal, Mozambique, and somebody gave me a call from South Africa. So you all are more than welcome. It's a pleasure to have all of you. And yes, of course, people are joining us from Doha, Qatar, Bahrain, and people joining us from Kuwait, and they are joining us from Oman. They are joining us from Dubai, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi. We extend a very hearty welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure. So, ladies and gentlemen, while extending a hearty welcome to Madam Anita Kane-Ji, the distinguished speaker of this evening, before we hand over to her, I would like to flip through some slides so that world over, those are joining for the today first time on this program, I wish to share with all of you. Kindly open your YouTube channel and just come on to your YouTube. When you go, just click over there, Dr. Gulshan Sharma. There will be live telecast of this particular program coming, and you can see yourself, you can hear the deliberation. And I would request each one of you, this entire program after the live telecast would also be available later on the YouTube channel, where you can see your deliberation, celebration, congratulations, whatever we do this evening, all of us together. If you post your comments on the YouTube channel, with your details, with your email, then we would be in a position to send you e-certificate of participation also. That would be a privilege. So on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, which is working with the NRIs, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about since 1994, we extend a very, very hearty welcome to all of you. So from 1994 to 2003, this was the exclusive chamber. And in 2003, then the Honorable Prime Minister of India, late Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when our chamber delegation met him and we gave the inputs, he liked the idea and he said, with this, let's start Bharatiya Parvasi Divas also. And from there, the journey started, wonderful journey. And today you have got vibrant Gujarat, vibrant Tamil Nadu, vibrant Karnataka, vibrant Maharashtra, vibrant Telangana, whatsoever, everybody is vibrant. So it's wonderful which is going through. And during this pandemic, during this coronavirus, we are focusing on education, making education relevant. Like doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they are doing wonderful job. Our teachers also are doing phenomenal, wonderful work wherever they are. So we extend our greetings to all the teachers. They are great warriors because they are trying to reach every youth wherever they are. We are thankful to Dinanath Kholkarji, the Vice President and the Global Head Analytics and Insight of Tata Consultancy Services. We met on 30th of September right over here, and the new journey, the new beginning, and the new something, a yatra which started. And he had been very kind to give us 8 powerful speakers. Today is the 7th speaker, and tomorrow would be the 8th speaker as far as Tata Consultancy collaboration and their valuable inputs to us are concerned. He handed over the baton to Mr. Jagdish Chaudhary. He, as a head of the special initiatives, was very kind to package everybody and bring together. And ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful inputs from each one of them. It was such a beautiful, you heard Mr. Pradeep Lokhandeji, who spoke about the rural relation, what all is happening in the agri part. Then we came to Satyajit, who talked about the Gurukul part of it. Then we had Mr. Kulkarni. He gave a wonderful input that how exactly as an NGO in the remote part, the science is being taught and wonderful is being done. Then you got Professor G.S. Mani, who gave us the wonderful inputs, the former dean and the director. And then, of course, yesterday, we had a wonderful deliberations with Mr. Amya Vanjariji, head of the technology and innovations, Tata Strive, and where he talked about skills and competencies and empowerment and teacher education and a couple of other. I think there's a lot to take from the entire group. We are grateful to all of them. And particularly when we started this journey, it's wonderful, all of us together. So ladies and gentlemen, during lockdown, we understand thought processes are affected, business is deeply affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe, education is deeply affected, which we all got to understand. But there is a phenomena and there is a term from India, Vasudev Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. It's a global education collaboration. Let's help out the entire humanity because as per UNESCO statistics are concerned, 1.86 billion children are at present away from schools, colleges, institutions, and various places. So let's help out everybody the best possible way. And that's what we are doing. Heartiest congratulations to the Prime Minister of India and the Education Minister of India and all the stakeholders, those are directly, indirectly, AICT, UGC, NIPA, and then AIU, then NCRT, the National Council for Teacher Education. They all are doing wonderful job. Our great regards to all of them. And they are wonderful people. And this particular education policy being announced on 29th of July at 4 p.m. in evening by Prakash Javadkar ji and Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji. This particular policy nowadays, it is getting deliberated and thereafter it gets implemented. Once it gets implemented, thereafter we will monitor and we'll see what exactly is happening and what are the changes on the ground. But it's a very creative and innovative policy. We would like to congratulate the government of India. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this coronavirus, one more area which is very important, which we all should understand, whatever input we are getting globally from the world over, from the different countries, there is going to be a water crisis world over. There's going to be a water shortage. And a lot of work is being done. And Arushi Nishankji, she's also doing a great Sparsh Ganga, the initiative what she has taken in India. So what we are doing is that from day after tomorrow, every Friday, day after tomorrow, today is Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow we have got a program with Tata Consultancy Services. Day after tomorrow, we are starting a new series on water strategies, water conservation, water management, how to save every drop of the water. And you would be happy to know that we will be starting this collaboration with a lot of non-resident Indians, Indian diaspora, and the experts world over This all is going to be done under our senior advisor from Singapore. He would be taking the lead. He would be moderating the discussions. So day after tomorrow, we will unveil the program. We will show it to you tomorrow. But I just thought I should put it into the perspective so that you all know. Now, women empowerment is very, very important, which our chamber takes into initiative. When you talk about sustainable development goals, goal number 4 is on education, and number 5 is on the gender equality. That is when we talk about women empowerment. When you educate a girl child, you educate so many families and subsequent generations. Thereby, ladies and gentlemen, women empowerment, women education, hand holding, and enriching them, giving them the best of positivity is very, very important, which we all want to understand. If we want to make world a global, the harmony, the peace and everything, it's a mother, it's a sister, it's a daughter, it's a grandmother. Everybody has got it, and it's a teacher. The female as a teacher, they play a very important role for all of us. Our chamber from morning till evening, we come live every day from morning 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, 12 hours. All of us, we are together. This is the finishing school. What we have got on the soft skills, when you talk about etiquettes, manners, gesture, body language, articulation, confidence, exercise buildings, image management, personality enhancement, customer service, customer delight, amaze the customer, your interpersonal skills, and your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills, your logical skills, whatsoever has to be taken. And finally, not the living skills, but the life skills, life management skills. That all from our chamber. We have taken the initiative since 1994 when we set up India's first service industry finishing school. Now, a couple of things are coming to our mind. Our chamber is very deeply thinking about it, and we are getting lot of inputs, and we want to give it new terms. We are thinking what exactly has to be happened. So we will come with some new pedagogies. We'll come with some new andragogies. We will discuss with all of you in view of the new education policy. Sector Skill Councils of India, 38 of them, they are doing wonderful. Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, great initiative with education, with skills, with competencies. I'm pretty sure the world, and particularly India, has taken the initiative to make a world better place to live, all of us. And I'm proud to share with all of you, today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 more days. And Monday onward for 30 days, you will have every evening, 5 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every week, 4 days, it's going to be rocking media, entertainment sector, skill council being with us, radio, television, theater, films, acting, animation, crafting, lighting, sound, special effects, backdrop, curtains, costumes, and creative directors, and I'm the cast directors, whatsoever you can think of on this planet with regard to media entertainment industry, all the avenues we are going to discuss with youngsters. 26th of October, Monday onward, this new journey will start for all of you, Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council. And then comes Saturday evening, ladies and gentlemen. We take you all the way to Chicago, where we talk about 11th September 1893, where this gentleman with his saffron, he mentioned, and the whole world rose and thunder of claps. And that was sisters and brothers of the universe. And that is education. That is humanity. That is empowerment. Our youth got to be empowered. Ultimately, the whole purpose of education should be we got to understand our youngsters, our boys and girls, what do they want? They're very creative. They are very, very innovative. We got to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, thereafter, every Saturday evening, we discuss with you where we talk about Ayurveda for the global wellness. And there we take the journey where we talk about your yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition, organic, positivity, no anxiety, no stress, no depression, no problems, no difficulties, because in the world, always it doesn't happen the way you want. But whatsoever happens, nature wants. What is nature? God, Almighty. Sunday morning, we take you all the way in front of Universal Studios of Hollywood. And there the door opens, Woodbury University, Burbank, California, 65 kilometers away from Los Angeles Airport. And Professor Satinder Dhiman comes live where he talks about Srimad Bhagavad Gita and India's principal Upanishad, India's Vedic and ancient knowledge relevance in today's education system. And what a wonderful, I tell you, it's a remarkable, more than, I would say, I count uncountable people. And thereafter on Sunday evening at 3 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, education, skills, tourism, research, innovation, wellness, micro, small, and the medium enterprise, entire northeast part of India, what the Indian Prime Minister calls Ashtalakshmi, Tripura, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Mizoram, and Nagaland, all the 8 beautiful states with ASEAN. That is the joint collaboration with a special focus on northeast part of India. We take on this particular journey. And then comes Sunday evening, the last program, where Shri Rabindranath Ji, the former CMD of the NSIC, which is under the aegis of micro, small, and the medium enterprise, talk to us. When you say, if I do education, purpose of education, objective of education, and acquire a particular skill, thereafter you go for employment, you go for entrepreneurship, you want to have startup, stand up, whatever you're looking forward to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is something remarkable. And this program, those of you, those are interested to start your own business, here you get thread by thread every kind of inputs. It's a global platform where you understand how to become entrepreneur and how to have a startup business of your own. So don't forget to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the complete week. So we are just showing you over here how the journey takes place, what all takes place, and ultimately the vision is let's make education relevant. Because unless the education is not applicable to our day-to-day life, there is no use of theoretical education. There is no need of going to college or a school or somewhere if that is not making you better human being. It is adding to your values. It's going to have some economic, social, cultural, personal growth in the future. It gives you wisdom. It gives you better tomorrow. That is something very important which we all have to understand. Don't forget, after this program today, once we finish 7 o'clock today, there is a very, very special program coming from the entire northeast part of India. All the northeastern states are getting together. This young boy, Philam Rohan Singh, who traveled 3,800 kilometers on bicycle from Delhi all the way to the final tip where India finishes across, that is More, Manipur finishes, and Myanmar, that means Burma starts. And his yatra was basically, let's make India clean. Let's keep India clean. No wastage, no garbage. Don't throw, don't save water, save pollution, save India from pollution. And on bicycle, this gentleman, he traveled the whole country. He's going to share his vision with all of us this evening at 7 p.m. today. So don't forget, after this program, entire Northeast India is coming together, and that is inspiration for the global youth and for all of us together. Meet this gentleman, talk to him after this program, Youth and Sports Empowerment for Future as a part of the new education policy. Our chamber from 25th of March till date, when we have carried out the entire research, whatever study we have done, wish to share with all of you that now please stop wasting time, money, efforts, energy. Come to the basics of life. Survival in the minimum. Whatever is your minimum essential, go to that. B2B should not be business to business. It should be back to basics of life, sustainable development. Start growing your own vegetables. I'm growing my own organic vegetable on my rooftop, in my kitchen garden. जहां भी घर का कोई कोना है वहां पर मैं सब्जी know what these digital companies are doing to us. They are playing with our brains and our thought processes. We all have to understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, start growing your own vegetables. Number two, positivity. Keep your mind positive. People, those are around you, your friends and all. Don't meet people, those are negative. Meet people, those are positive. Those talk positive, walk positive, think positive, dream positive. You got to remain positive. It's very, very important. And third part, become responsible youth now. It should be learn and earn. Do a part-time job, no harm. Study also, but do a part-time job also. Support your parents. They are always good. They will always tell, don't worry, child, we will earn for you. You study, you just take interest in your studies. Become responsible at the young age. And that is the way sustainable development ecosystem will develop in entire India. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last slide which I wish to share before I introduce today's guest. Whatever human mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. Let's come together. Let's make education relevant. It's a global confluence, all of us together. Send your suggestion. If you want to be a panelist, do come over. It would be a pleasure. Every evening we get 6 girls with us. Today, due to the paucity of time, we could not put their slide over here, but I invite them with an open heart as a father, as a grandfather, and we extend them a very warm welcome. 6 girls, 6 stars of the evening. Those are joining us today on behalf of and with the efforts of Colonel K.C. Menon, who is the senior advisor for the entire southern India of our chamber. We extend a very warm welcome to these 6 girls. They are going to share their thought process, and right from the core of my heart, I extend you a very warm welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part. And once your turn comes, speak quick, fast, and whatever you want to convey, tell to the world, show your face, and come live on the camera so that the world knows that here is women empowerment to the global galaxy. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let me extend a very warm welcome to our distinguished speaker and our esteemed guest of the evening. So join me in welcoming Madam Anita Kane, the former Principal Consultant, Tata Consultancy Services. Madam Anita Ji, she is the former Principal Consultant with the Tata Consultancy Services. She has an overall experience of 30 plus years in the various capacities in the information technology field. Wow. All of us today, we are talking about IT. She specializes in the business development, customer management, as well as development and delivery of the solution. For the last 2 years plus, she was deputed as the city data officer of the Pune Municipal Corporation. Prior to joining TCS, she has been responsible for the development and maintenance of the cash management product, including check image delivery systems, for the development of a tool for manipulating check images. Java and ActiveX were evaluated and a control developed and delivered in ActiveX. The ActiveX control was embedded into the company's product and has several thousand users in the United States. She played the lead role in setting up the systems and network at the Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, the IUCAA website, which Anita ji created and hosted in the late 90s, was the first website in India. Ladies and gentlemen, what a privilege. Join me in welcoming Anita Kane-Ji and six wonderful girls. I would request all of you, all the girls, kindly unmute your videos, not mics, but just come out live. I want to see all the children. Come on, all the kids. God bless all of you. You're the celebrities, and we are proud of you, children. Thanks for joining us this evening with ma'am. We extend you a very hearty welcome. My sincere apologies, I could not read out your name initially in the slide, but with ma'am, I extend a very hearty welcome to Harshita, Shakti, and Kezia, and Sneha, and Anu, and Anna. I extend a very hearty welcome. Anna, you don't want to come live, your choice, child. But we extend you a very warm welcome, beta. As a father, I extend a very hearty welcome to all of you. And we are proud of all of you. Thanks for joining us this evening. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very hearty welcome to Anita Kane-Ji. And I request her to take on the center stage and to address the entire global humanity, community, and let's make world a better place, because your topic is leveraging data to build future ready Indian cities. With these words, Anita Kane-Ji.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. I'd like to take this opportunity to also thank ICSI to speak at this webinar. It's indeed a wonderful opportunity to speak in front of the global audience. So, the topic that I've chosen for today has been related to my work. I've been the city data officer for the Pune city, working with the Pune Municipal Corporation for the last 2+ years. Incidentally, I am the first city data officer for any city in India. So in that sense, it was a pioneering role where there were no set frameworks as to how this role had to operate.
I would request everybody to put your hands together to welcome this lady. Wow, that's great. God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. Please, go ahead.
What I've chosen to speak about is, of course, related to my work and about how data is changing things and essentially building the smart cities of tomorrow. We are on the journey. That's why I say it's a long journey. So moving on, I have just chosen two line items for my presentation today. In the first one, I want to introduce the concept of open government data and what the Pune city has done. And then in the second point, I want to give actual examples of how data is being used and how data-driven decision systems are being built, for smart cities. And, for all citizens, it's extremely relevant, I think. So let's see how or what open data is. Data has been quite a buzzword these days. Every corporation, every industry, every institution is looking to leverage its big data. And what they want to do is basically analyze it or mine it to gain insights about their customers, insights so that they can improve business operations and things like that. In the context of government, who have also not been left behind, they are also they are mining their data, etc., etc. So in the context of government, the operative word is open data. So what is the key motivation for open data? Now, governments operate mostly on public funds, right? The tax that we pay essentially goes to fund the government activities. and they in turn provide us some services. So governments would like to improve transparency and accountability by sharing data. That's what is called open data, correct? And once they start sharing, then it naturally enhances participation between citizens and the government. So this is the primary objective. Once participation increases, then you have this whole group of citizens which consists of academicians, students, entrepreneurs, industry professionals. And then once everyone starts looking at data, they are going to analyze the data and provide their own insights. And that's essentially going to lead to improved quality and improved efficiency in the services. As this progresses, there are also opportunities for economic development, newer business models, etc. And we are going to see actually some of the examples. One final thing is about open data is something which the government basically puts in the open domain for access to everyone so that everyone can use it as well as reshare it. So let us look at open data programs, worldwide. When did they start? How old is this whole concept, and when did it become popular? Well, you'll see that this is not something which is very old. It all started about 12 to 13 years ago. And it started with the United Kingdom when they launched their Open Knowledge Foundation. So this was launched, and it primarily started putting out government spending data and gave a facility to citizens so that they can view this data on government spending. So this was the first step, right? Openness was the basic tenet on which this was based. Giving a view into government spending. Subsequently, of course, in the UK, they expanded the program, they launched the data.gov.uk portal, and then, of course, had a large number of data sets. USA, of course, was close on the heels. It's almost the same time. They passed a transparency and open government memorandum. Basically, showing their commitment to transparency and opening up government data. When I say opening government data, let me be very clear. This does not contain any personally identifiable information. So we are talking of data that does not contain this information. So USA also launched a data.gov portal where they started publishing data sets. At a city level, this is all at a national level. If you look at the city level, then Washington, DC was the first city to actually come forward with an open data portal. And what they did was to engage the community meaning experts, programmers, on a volunteer basis. And they invited participation for a contest, basically a contest where they wanted apps developed. We all also hear of a lot of hackathons these days. So this is how it all started. And there are, of course, very interesting stories about what got developed through the volunteer effort. But I just want to mention one thing about USA, and that's the Code for America Foundation. This foundation was set up along the same lines for developing code through volunteer participation. And this is a large foundation now. If you really see, India was quick to follow suit. Just 4 years later, India launched its own data.gov.in platform, and we have a large number of data sets there. Today, if you look at it, it has over 8,000 catalogs and over 4 lakh resources, correct? 424,000 plus resources, meaning data catalogs, data sets. That's what I mean. Other states and other government departments quickly tagged on and joined the data.gov.in platform. Pune had visionary leadership and they decided to launch their own portal, and this happened towards the end of 2016. They launched their own open data portal. So I wanted to give you just some examples as to what we mean by open data. So when we look at national portals, then at a national level, what is the kind of data that is put up by data.gov.in, say? So for example, the country's gross domestic product, that is one, that will be one element. In addition to that, when you display the data, then you can look at the top 5 states, which have been the highest growing, all these things, correct? Similarly, a lot of things, how much length of highways was built, also, they also categorize it. How much of it is cement roads, how much of it is tar roads, etc., etc., etc. So a number of things. Similarly, when you come to the city level, that's when you come to the Pune Open Data Portal. I just wanted to give you examples. So on the Pune Open Data Portal, you will have property tax, say. For the last 4 or 5 years, what was the collection? How much is the outstanding? Ward-wise, wards make up a city, or a city is broken up into wards. So which are the top 5 paying wards? Which are the laggards? Which are the leaders, etc., etc. Similarly, there's a lot of move to collect through digital payment channels. So you may be able to analyze across payment channels as well. What is the adoption? What is the adoption to digital technologies? Correct? So, so these are just some examples. Take the example of the current outbreak. There is, of course, disease incidence data also being reported on the Pune Open Data Portal. With regards to corona, of course, a lot more data on the positive cases, etc. The number of new cases, how much is growing, declining, how many hospital beds, etc. All this data is also put up. So there are a number of examples. I don't necessarily want to go through all of them. Now, moving on a little bit about the Pune Open Data Program. So typically, when you start a program, initially you have to make some investments, right? You have to build the portal. You have to create a data policy, which data sets will go on the portal, which will not, which are sensitive, which are not sensitive, etc. So data policy is one element. You have to set up a structure, because one city data officer, and then at a department level, you want people who will contribute to the data, etc., etc. There's also a lot of change management activity you have to do to convince the heads of departments on the benefits of this, etc. So this is what we call as the invest phase. If you look at Pune, then I'd say that we are at the harvest phase. We can now draw benefits from this. Now the objectives also in a harvest phase will be much higher. Initially, you just start with transparency, because you're displaying basically data sets, you're displaying the data. You're showing how much property tax, etc., correct? And now in the harvest phase, you're looking for something more. You're looking for insights. You're looking for also to basically accelerate economic development. And the core to this is a data alliance, what we call as a Smart City Data Alliance, correct? Data alliance in which the participants include NGOs, We have other government agencies, right? Because governments also can be siloed. So it doesn't mean one government and the other, they really come together on all initiatives. So basically we have other government agencies, NGOs, students, researchers, as well as also corporates who can come together through ideathons, hackathons, brainstorm basically ideas as to what is it that could be done to take the city forward. So these are some of the things which are really happening in the city of Pune. And for in this slide, I have really, summarized some of these things. So when we conduct these ideathons or hackathons, then, you look at the top challenges faced by Pune. Mobility is a challenge. Clean air is a challenge. Clean air because, polluted air, there's a lot of construction activity, vehicular pollution. So that's a challenge. Solid waste management, of course, it's a problem of the century. It's there across the board, across the globe, and specifically in Pune, of course, slums is also an issue. So when you conduct hackathons or when you invite the ecosystem partners, your objective is to see how you can find solutions to some of these challenge areas. So while Pune is taking up some activities at a Pune level, the Smart Cities mission is also taking up some activities at a national level, something that is applicable to all the smart cities. Okay? So on the top right-hand side, I've just given an overview where the Pune Open Data Portal is. There are a good number of downloads. It has 475 plus data sets, good number of downloads signifying good use, and people are looking at it, they're finding it useful. So I want to now move to basically the examples. So what I've done is, in these examples, what I want to show is how data is changing the way the governments are operating. So that is something which I'm trying to demonstrate through these 4 examples. Just chosen 4, starting with simple and then the most complex. So moving on, the first example I've taken, a very simple one, is relating to property tax payment. So property tax, for those of you who may not be familiar, so it is a tax which is charged by urban local bodies for people who own property. And in lieu of that, they provide services, right? Roads, water, etc. So property tax exists throughout the globe in one form or the other. So property tax, typically our financial year starts in April. So governments want you to pay property tax by a certain date. And what they do is, to help the citizens, they basically send out reminders. I know all people will not be able to read the vernacular message, but it's not necessary that you can actually decipher. So initially, they were sending like a typical reminder, meaning that if the last date for paying property tax was, say, 30th June, then you started getting these reminders from, say, 15th June, 21st June, and like that every 5 to 6 days. So it is a typical reminder which just tells you The last date is approaching, please pay the property tax. The last date is approaching, please pay your property tax. That's what I call as a typical reminder. And on the right hand side, what I've shown is a smart reminder. What is a smart reminder? In this smart reminder, which is an actual one put out last year, it said the Pune smart city. Okay, so it says that 195,898 citizens have paid tax until now. When will you? Correct. So it kind of naturally, it's a very specific nudge and a smart nudge. That's what I call a smart nudge, a very small way in which governments are changing. If you read the fine print, it is telling you that from 1st April to 21st May, that is in the first 50 days or so, so much or so many citizens have paid their property tax. So it's indirectly telling you so many have paid. What about you? Correct? So 20% of the citizens have already paid. So it's kind of a very positive nudge. Let's move on to the second example. This second example is an example of how GIS and GPS data was used effectively to implement the household toilets project under the government's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So Shelter Associates is an NGO that works in Pune and is focused on primarily the urban poor and in the area of sanitation. So naturally, these projects are carried out in partnership with the Pune Municipal Corporation, with the authorities. And they are a partner of PMC in the sanitation space. PMC, Pune Municipal Corporation, the urban local body of Pune. So, what did Shelter do? Shelter has mapped the slums on GIS. They have done a rapid sanitation infrastructure mapping for slums. Sanitation infrastructure, correct? And what you're seeing in this particular GIS map is all the slums in Pune, those which are red colored, those are the slums for which the sanitation infrastructure mapping has been done by Shelter. So we are going to see a little bit more about this slum, Janta Vasahat, which is one of the largest slums in Pune. So how they went about it. So in the next one, I'm just showing a picture how Shelter has mapped the slums. What you see here, these are the households in the slums, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's what I'm saying. So these are the slum households. What is not visible here and which they have done is mapping the sewer lines. So you have a sewer connection here, something here, like that. So for those who do not have much background, typically in the slum areas, there is a community toilet block. So which means there is a common toilet block which is shared by a number of slum dwellers. So under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan of the government of India, they wanted to provide subsidy, financial subsidy for building individual toilets. So the government came forward saying that we will give funds to build individual toilets. And because the sanitation is the responsibility of the urban local body, that is the Pune Municipal Corporation, This project is deployed in partnership with the urban local bodies, that is through PMC. So this is, I just wanted to show something how they have done this. There's a lot more you can go and check. What did Shelter do? What Shelter did was, first of all, they identified the households with interest in individual toilets. Remember that not all households may be interested, because first of all, they have to identify space within their house, which will be a space earmarked for the household toilet. So that's the first thing they did. They identified households. So naturally, they would have done a household survey and got a lot of information, correct? Then they worked through the Pune Municipal Corporation on the feasibility. Because if so many households need toilets, it's not only about feasibility, but it's also about a detailed plan. Where is the nearest sewer line? How is the corporation going to extend? And they work together and they create a final plan, right? The municipal corporation extends the drainage line to the household. And of course, Shelter does the project coordination. And the toilet funding, where does the funding come from? The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan gives some money, the household brings in some money, and Shelter enabled some money through CSR funding. So that's how together toilets were built. And because of the systematic data-driven approach used by Shelter, they could implement these projects at a very high speed. So most of the slum households in Pune who wanted to have individual household toilets now already have one. So the speed with which the project could be executed, so that is the efficiency of operation, is something I want to highlight, which was a result of this data-driven approach. And also I want to highlight that the use of data is not only within the urban local body, but also extends to its ecosystem partners. Now, we move on to the third example. This example concerns school education, and I chose it, of course, purposefully because of the whole the whole title and the objective of this webinar series. So today, there is a UDI system which is deployed at the center, but of course implemented through the urban local bodies. So the education department of the Pune Municipal Corporation enables collection of data which goes into this UDI system. What is this data? This data is about the school details. School details meaning what's the infrastructure and facilities, what type of school it is, in the sense also whether it gives education from standard 1 to 10, 1 to 4, all kinds, whether it is co-education, only girls, only boys, etc., the medium of instruction, all this kind of information is there. School details. What more? Very interesting is that it includes the class-wise enrollment by school. So for every school, we know how many students are enrolled, how many males, how many females in class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, and goes on. And for how many years is this available? This is available since 2012, right? So it's already 7-8 years now. So this much data, school education data, is available for Pune, and I'm sure it's available for all other cities also. In addition, there's also data about teachers. So how many teachers, how many permanent, how many on contract, male, female, education level, qualified, etc. So many things. Supporting, meaning because they also have part-time teachers, so those are also enumerated. So your singing teacher may be a part-time, correct, like that. Then of course, school results is separate. Whoever conducts the exam, those boards, they actually publish school results statistics. So all this data is available, correct? So my question to you is, basically my question to you is there a challenge or a problem that one faces in day-to-day life that you could solve using this data? Just think. So here's one problem I could think about. So what is this? When parents are looking for school admission for their children, then they used to, that is when my children went to school, we used to rely on information coming from neighbors, coming from others in the family, friends, like that, meaning verbally. So we used to rely on this information, which I call as is not necessarily objective. Of course, you could visit the school and then they might give you some big talk about how good the school is, right? But now with all this data available, can't you build a dashboard which can assist parents in choosing the right school for their wards? And how can this be done? On the right hand side, I have put a possible solution approach. So if I'm a parent looking for the right school for my ward, then I should be able to locate all the schools in my neighborhood, correct? All the schools which are within, say, 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers, 3 kilometers, whatever criteria I want to fit. And then I should be able to look at a lot of information about the school. What is the student-teacher ratio, for example, in that school? What kind of infrastructure do they have? Do they have a playground or don't they? What is the medium of instruction? What has been their past results record, possibly, correct? So these are the kind of things. This is what I'm talking of a solution approach. So this was one of the things I had given in a hackathon, and of course you're going to see some outcomes also. But what could be other problems this data could solve? There are a number of others. I have listed only two. This should give you some hint. So the city of Pune is known as the Oxford of the East. So education is considered to be very good in the city. Now what happens is, as the city grows, remember, and a city of Pune expands in all directions. Then the leading institutions which were in the core, so the leading schools and colleges which were in the core, need to expand and go to the periphery, right? So that, they need to expand and fulfill the needs of the citizens, who are going there. How can they determine where should I open the next school? So can we give them some data points there? Which are the localities without easy access to good schools, so that they can go and do that? So these are the kind of problems you could solve, right? Especially the first one, it could be run as a service. Even this one, it could be run as a service, correct? A paid service, I mean. I have just shown you this dashboard. I mentioned to you the first problem. I had given this as part of the hackathon, and this was one of the outcomes. See here, all the schools are mapped onto GIS. There is some color coding. One of the attributes has been used in the color, medium of instruction, etc. And then a number of other parameters. So there were several graphs. I just chose this. But my point is, then the data can be analyzed, presented to you, depending on what you want. What's the student-pupil ratio, result statistics, etc. So this is one example of a smart service available for parents. Now I come to the fourth or the last example which I have chosen. So this is related to carbon neutrality. This is related to the Pune city air quality and tree cover. So if you looked at Pune city, it's growing very rapidly in the last 10 years. The population compounded annual growth rate has been 3.07%. But interestingly, the vehicular population, that is the automated vehicles, automatic vehicles, the vehicular population, the compounded annual growth rate is far more than the population. It's 3.52%. And today the fact remains that the number of vehicles in the city are slightly more than the number of people, correct? So basically, apart from that, there's been a lot of construction activity as well. So naturally, all these emissions do impact the air quality. What is the role of trees? Trees have a positive impact on the environment. They work, and they are traditionally one of the common things to create a carbon sink. So trees play a very important role in improving the environment. So this project is, by the way, it's currently in process. It is a very ambitious project. What I'm going to tell you is a high-level idea about the project and something specific about insights about the Pune tree cover, so that you know where there is room for improvement, what is it that has to be done. So the project is about, of course, mining the trees data. We have data on Pune trees, right? A census was conducted, a tree census was conducted over a 2-year cycle, and this data is available. 400,000 trees is available. 400,000 or 4 million trees, yeah, is available. 40 lakh trees, so 4 million, I think, is available, correct? Now, what this project does, it mines this data to understand a bit more about the Pune tree cover. Then, of course, every year there's a need to plant about 1 lakh saplings. Where is this 1 lakh figure? Because if you go by a thumb rule, then basically the population is increasing by 1 lakh per year. And the thumb rule says, 1 tree, one person, 1 tree. So go by that. Besides, in the last 3 years, we have actually planted these many trees. So of course, identify space, make a plantation plan, choose the species, basis, the data mining, then build a predictive model for carbon sequestration. How much is the capacity today? What will it be? So we'll have a growth model because the trees will grow. There might be some mortality. And then, of course, the saplings which have been planted will also start sequestering carbon. So what is the carbon sink that we will create? We can create. And then this will be used in the planning for carbon neutrality, because then this much is the limit for the sink. So you need to contain your emissions to a certain level, correct? So that's how this project is being used by the planners in their journey towards carbon neutrality. Let's look at some of the data, some very interesting results from data mining. Remember, this was possible only because we had this tree census done, right? We have exhaustive data of 25 plus attributes of each tree being recorded. So Pune city consists of 15 wards. So this particular map is mapping the trees versus the population. So the red one is the trees and the blue is the population in that ward. So you clearly see, correct? And it goes top down, meaning the best ward from a tree standpoint and down. Naturally, these wards are in the center of the city, like the downtown you call it. There may not be any opportunity, space to plant trees. But definitely our focus should be these. These may be good, maybe something interesting can be done, right? So that's what this tells us. If we look at the top 20 species, go by species. So the species count was mapped here. So this is the map, correct? And then a not so good thing came out, and that was about the fact that the top three, the highest number of the top three species are non-native. And there's a problem with that. Problem with non-native, those who understand a little bit of ecology will tell you that there is a problem. So, for example, if you look at this particular species, we have the maximum tree falls during the monsoon season from this variety. So these kind of problems. Plus, the ecosystem does not build. They initially plotted, for example, they plotted Gliricidia for nitrogen fixation, but then now there are other problems which are being visible. So my point is that when you do this analysis, it tells you that we now need to plant native species. What are the kind of species we should plant? The previous one tells you where. And this is one other interesting analysis which I wanted to share. If you looked at the data of the trees, then it's telling you where the trees are spread. The first graph is telling you that these are the trees which are in the forest area, in the government space, and in the semi-government space. This is the one which tells you on private, in housing societies and things like that. In public spaces, in gardens, roadside. So let's look at this roadside, correct? And let's analyze this roadside trees, the trees along the avenues. So I did this analysis. What you see is again the list of 15 wards in Pune city, and what is the length of roads in these wards. Then I mapped it with I analyzed it with the total number of trees. So let's say the road length that is available is approximately 1400 kilometers of road length in Pune city, right? That's what it shows you for tree plantation. Let's keep out, as I said, there is no space to plant on certain roads which go through the heart of the city. So we keep that aside. And then if we take that we can plant one tree every 10 meters, we could do better. You don't need to leave 10 meters space between two trees, possibly 5 meters may be adequate, but today the government regulation is somewhere like 10 at a minimum. So if we do that calculation, then there are 250,000 trees which should have been there along the avenues, along the roads. So as against today, the count is only 121,000. So there is an opportunity to plant. So this is probably somewhere now we're getting pointers. So this was the glimpse I just wanted to give you. This is just the data model for the project, but just to summarize this particular project, I wanted to tell you that our objective is to understand what will be the carbon sequestration capacity of the city 3 to 10 years down the road. And this we want to be able to do through simulations. Once this is done, then it will also help the city planners to determine exactly how much plantation you should do, because otherwise you will never know how long should we go on, and there'll always be that thing, how much should you plant, how much should you construct. So this sort of a project will help the planners determine what exactly you should do to attain carbon neutrality in 2030. So this is all I wanted to cover, these 4 examples around data and how it's being used in smart cities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. In fact, it's a great insight which we all have to get. We got to understand. And I think this kind of an exemplary should come to other cities of India as well. And we should replicate the same. I think that would be very, very beneficial to the entire humanity. The other day, I was listening to one of the programs from the UNESCO, and they were telling कि इंसान की प्रॉब्लम कहाँ से शुरू हुई जब आपने प्रकृति को और अपने आप को दोनों को अलग समझना शुरू कर दिया. If we consider that nature is the integral part, whatsoever is happening around us, the trees, the plantation, and whatsoever universe has created, whatsoever cosmos has created, whatsoever nature has created, the moment we start living in harmony with the nature, I think wonderful can be done. Wonderful can be done. It's remarkable. I'm so grateful to you. It's an insight which you have given to us. You can close your presentation, ma'am. You can close your presentation. Wonderful, wonderful. And before you sum up and you give your final summary and the final, note to all of us, we would like to, with your permission, we have got 6 girls this evening with us. They have joined us, and 1 minute each they would take, and they would share their vision with us. What do they think about education? What do they think about dream career? What do they think about women empowerment? What do they think how the world should be? How the technology is changing the entire thought process, and how the education system, ecosystem is going to be in future. So if you permit, I'll give them a minute each. And thereafter, I would request you to kindly conclude and give your final summary to all of us together. So with these words, my deep gratitudes and thanks to you, ma'am. And let's get the first girl, Harshita. Great evening to you, child. You're sharing the dais with ma'am. Okay. Yeah, you have unmuted your mic. Great. Harshita, hearty welcome to you. Pleasure to have you. Look, you are sharing the dais with ma'am. So kindly give your vision, whatever you want to tell. What do you have to tell to the whole world today? Come on.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, Ji. Namaste, ma'am. I am here to present my views on dream careers. Dream careers, yeah. The problem my generation that we face is that it's like on both sides, some people say pick a job where you earn well. On the other side, only do what you like. And sometimes it's so confusing and we don't know anything either. So I read a book recently, Ikigai, and that really helped me decide what I want to do.
You're taking us to Japan all the way. People
Yes.
would be extremely, extremely happy. People, those are watching from Japan. She's talking about your country. Shiawase narateo tatako, shiawase naratai do deshimiso, right from Sapporo to Hokkaido to Kobe to Kyoto to Fukuoka to Hiroshima to Nagasaki. Wow, ikigai. Yes, please go ahead.
Um, Thank you, sir. I really influenced by the way the book explained what we should do. So the four phases listed are what you enjoy, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you get paid for. And that really helped me as a young individual crystallize what I want to do as a person. And I personally feel that it would help anybody. Any individual can find out what they would like to do by just asking themselves these four questions. I'd like to quote Kathleen Whitehorn, a British journalist, in this. She once said, if you want to find out what to do, find out something that you really, really enjoy doing and ask someone to pay you for it. I think that works for everybody. And the thing is, our career is kind of like a marriage. It stays with us at least 35 to 40 years, and then we have so many memories associated with it. So, in my opinion, if someone's found their dream career, the excitement with which they start their job, the excitement with which they retire, there must be no change. There must only be an improvement. In my opinion, that is the perfect dream career.
Wonderful, wonderful. God bless you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
Harshita, I hope nobody is listening. You follow your dream career. Don't bother about anybody. Okay?
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much for
Don't
this.
bother about anybody. And Ikigai, when you're talking about, let me share with the world audience today, ladies and gentlemen, when she's talking about this particular area, Ikigai is the concept, but Ikinawa is the place. And when you talk about it in Japan, it's so stimulating and rewarding. Nobody is less than 100-year-old in that particular area because they all are very happy. They enjoy music. They remain happy. So don't worry about anybody. Be happy, okay?
Definitely, sir.
Yes. Anna, great evening, Anna. Hearty welcome to you, child.
Yes,
Anna, great evening, beta. How are you?
yes, fine, sir. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. And child, what is your dream project? What are you going to share with us?
Yes, so my topic is the purpose of education and its relevance.
Okay, the
So,
education. Okay, okay. Why should we study?
okay, so I would, um, I'm sorry if I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible, child. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, sir. So I would like to start with what Malcolm X has rightly said. He said that education is a passport to future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Good evening, everyone. Education is all about learning, and this whole process of learning is devoted to two major causes: intelligence and character development. But does education actually serve this cause? Because it's often found that learning process with respect to intelligence is incomplete, and character development is often ignored. So, what is the actual purpose of education and what did we go wrong? Let's find out. The first one, learning with respect to intelligence. Many of us try to fit in the mold of social norms, of getting high grades, entering schools, universities, passing tests. Now, does this alone guarantee a happy, healthy, and easy life? I don't think so. Because the value of education doesn't live in the facts that we learn to memorize, but rather in the critical thinking skills that will allow us to solve a variety of problems. Many of the jobs that existed 30 years back do not exist now, and the jobs that will exist 30 years from now may not even be imaginable right now. So, how do we prepare students to face these constant changes and challenges of future? For this, students need to be taught how to learn and not what to learn, how to ask questions, and how to think critically. The skills that they're learning should be given a chance to be applied to their day to day lives. The main reason why many of us actually find this learning process frustrating at some point, or even that we find certain subjects to be useless, is because they're rarely given a chance to apply. Now we look to the second part, character development. Now, this is the part which is often ignored. Students need to be taught how to get along with each other, how to say thank you, how to say you're welcome, how to respect, how to interact, how to hold good relationships with each other. And so goes the list. Now, this is not something that our regular lessons can teach us. This should start from the very first stage of education, our home. And it builds on that base throughout the various stages we go through. And for this to happen, a proper platform and training should be provided. Like what Ayn Rand has rightly put, the only purpose of education is to teach a student how to live his life. He has to be taught the essentials of knowledge discovered in the past, and he has to be equipped to acquire further knowledge by his own effort. So, friends, let's let learning beyond memorization be our motto, and let's focus on creating minds and not just career. Thank you.
Wow, that's great, great, wonderful. And I take a key
Thank
word,
you. Thank you, sir.
I take a keyword and clue from you where you mentioned education should be relevant to our day-to-day life. That is something very important
Yes.
word which you have given. Great. So, Anu, good evening. How are you, child?
I'm fine, sir. I'm great. How are you, sir? Thank
Yes,
you.
you are sharing the dais with Anita ma'am. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. So, hello, everybody. I'm Anu Binoy, and I'm going to give a very brief account on water conservation. So, what exactly is water conservation?
Wow, that's
Um, Sir?
great. Great, great. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, sir. So, water conservation is nothing but the policies and activities put into action to sustainably conserve the water resources and save it up for human demand. Or, in a simpler words, water conservation is us using our water resources wisely and responsibly. When we put it like that, so simple it seems, isn't it? Well, in reality, it is quite simple. When we incorporate small steps into our daily life, it will eventually add up and help us save a great deal of water. The next question that would pop up in our mind is why we need to save water. If you're a person coming from a place with abundance of water, which is generally not the case these days, you will be having this question in the mind. But if you're a person who's from a place that often experiences water scarcity, you would know why. Clean water is becoming a limited resource. With constant climate change, increasing population, pollution, and severe droughts happening all around the globe, it would be a conundrum if water was not scarce at all. The main problems are water pollution, lack of availability of clean water, and of course, waterborne diseases like hepatitis, dysentery, and more. Since it's the era of austerity, let's start simple. The most important question to be answered is how can we conserve water? Let's start from home. Using a washing bowl by the sink, turning the tap off as we brush our teeth, ensuring proper pipeline in our household, fixing a leaking pipe, or even taking a bucket bath. These are all effective measures that we can practice at home to conserve water. And on a larger scale, we sure can practice rainwater harvesting or install cooling systems or on heaters and steamers to reduce the loss of water in the form of heat. Before concluding, I would like to add a little something. We live in our planet in harmony with a gazillion organisms. What we have here is absolutely priceless, and we can never be grateful enough for it. But by us being a tad bit higher in intellect than the others, doesn't necessarily give us the power to exploit what we have here, but rather makes us responsible to take care of it. And together, I'm pretty sure we all can. So, with that, I'm concluding, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful, Anu.
Thank
Such
you, sir.
intelligent children nowadays. Oh my God. So good. Very nice, very nice. And Sneha, good evening, child.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening to everybody listening to this. Today, I'm going to be talking about what today's youth want.
Wow.
So,
What
yes.
does today's youth want? Yes. It's
So,
very,
this is a question
yes.
everybody keeps asking us, not maybe not on a daily basis, but oftentimes we get asked, what do you want? What is that you want to see in the world? So, I hope that what I'm going to say today would at least show the views, or at least not maybe not all the views, but at least few of the views in our mind, our ideas. So, Sir Nelson Mandela, he said the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. And I believe this quote resonates with many adults in this day and age. I know you believe that we are unstoppable with great potential, but are we really? I ask all the adults present here to go back a few years of your life into your teenage years. Remember how you always wanted to discover something new. Remember how you always had an opinion about everything, even when you weren't allowed to talk about it. Fast forward a few years or decades, nothing has changed. today's youth also has the same dreams and wishes. We want our voices to be heard. We want to question everything that's right and wrong with the world right now. We want to discover and create things that the world has never seen before. We want a safe environment where we can hang out anytime during the day or night. We want a government who won't drag us into possible wars. We want a world that will give utmost importance to sustainability so we don't have to worry about not having trees or clean water or clean air maybe 50 years into the future. We want a world where everyone is equal. We want a world where we are accepted for who we are. In short, we just want more opportunities in the government. We want a platform where we can make policies and laws that will actually take shape and impact the real world. We don't want to be ruled by 70-year-olds who only care or pretend to care about our needs. We want somebody just like us to run the country. Sir Franklin Roosevelt said, "We cannot build the future for our youth, but we can definitely build our youth for the future." All we are asking for is a platform where we won't be judged as too small to make decisions or too big to not care about the world around us. We just want our voices to be heard and a place where our opinions will be given due importance. We want a leader who will view the world and economy from the perspective of today's youth. We want to build an economically and morally responsible society. Thank you, sir.
Wow, very powerful, very powerful.
Thank you,
Great,
sir.
great. Kezia, good evening, child.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible also, you are visible also. Please go ahead. What's your topic, child?
So I will be giving a brief summary on the role of technology in education. That
Okay.
is, uh, that is how that is how technology helps us students. So I would like to start by saying that education is a transforming journey of an individual. It is a journey that accompanies achievements, success, struggles, and failures. It is through education that an individual's quality life gets determined. So, the era of 21st century is often considered as the era of technology. It is possible only through technology that distance is now no more considered as a barrier and education is brought to the doorstep of students. So, with each passing day, a new software or gadget is being brought into the market that serves our lives in one way or the other. So, with the advancement in technology, education among the people has begun to proliferate. Technology serves as a source and presenter of knowledge, and knowledge is embedded in technology, and technology presents that knowledge to students. So, we students of this generation are considered as technological learners. We learn best when we are more interactive, and technology helps us do that. Computers, tablets, and other forms of technology keeps us students engaged with exciting new features and apps, providing us with extra materials to study, like online books, previous year's question papers, etc. And the use of visual material makes it easier for us to grab theoretical concepts much faster along with the practical aspects of it. Every child learns differently, and technology helps to fill this gap. So, with the advent of technology, there has been a paradigm shift in the educational sector. Students can connect with different people across the globe and get career opportunities beyond boundaries. So, I would like to conclude by saying that traditional and modern education are both related and at the same time they are different from each other. In fact, modern education is inherited from the traditional education. The experience of having a teacher explaining a concept is more effective than when a student tries to learn a concept on their own. But technology in the hands of a teacher is transformational. So, quoting from Bill Gates, technology will never replace teachers. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the students working together and motivating them, the teacher is most important. Thank you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Wow, teacher is more important. Technology is the tool to be used. And here comes Shakti.
Sir, are
Yes,
you able to see me?
yes. God bless you, beta. Hearty welcome. Please go ahead.
थैंक यू सर एंड नवरात्र की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं सर आपको.
Oh, God bless you. You speak such a good Hindi. Okay.
So
Okay.
I will be sharing my thoughts on women empowerment. So let me make this very clear. Through this speech, I'm not advocating for equality between men and women because men and women can never be equal. Yes, you heard me right. Both can never be equal, as women, of course, have always been the stronger one. This
Ah,
reminds me. This reminds me. Often, when I've spoken about feminism and women empowerment, some people feel the urge to remind me how women are the so-called weaker sex. I'm sorry to break the bubble, people, but when it comes to longevity, surviving illness, and coping with trauma, one gender comes out on the top. And guess what? It is women. Science itself has proven that women are stronger than men. So apparently, beneath our skins, women bubble with a source of power that even science has yet to fully understand. We are better survivors than men. What's more, we are born this way. What I'm trying to say is feminism was never about making women stronger. Women are already strong. It is about changing the way world perceives that strength. The core of the issue is that we teach our girls that in order to be taken seriously, they need to be like men. And we teach our boys that it is shameful and embarrassing to do the domestic work, often called women's chores. And we use phrases like, don't cry like a girl. What is this? So, what I'm trying to say is cooking and cleaning are life skills and not gender roles. As Gloria Steinem rightly said, women are always saying we can do anything that men can do, but men should be saying we can do anything women can do. I would like to conclude by saying when there are no ceilings, the sky is the limit. So let's keep going. Let's keep going until every one of the 3.82 billion women and girls across the globe has the opportunity she deserves to have. Thank you.
wow, 3.82 billion girls, women world over. So we empower you. First of all, you stay with ma'am only. So both the ladies are there, women are there. We respect you. Your name is also Shakti, and you came like a Durga Ma when initially you made a mention. Happy Navratras. That's very good. And thereafter, your topic is also on the women empowerment. So we empower you. You stay here only with ma'am when she is concluding. And I will tell all my other children, kindly switch on your cameras, please. Kindly switch on your cameras. Everybody, all kids, yes. Let the world see. Here is the women empowerment. And here are my small little kids, those are Anna. You got to, yes, Anna is left over. You got to kindly switch on your camera so that the world can see. And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, I would request our distinguished guest this evening, Anita ma'am, to say the final concluding remarks, and thereafter we close the session. First of all, I'm so grateful, and my blessings to all these 6 kids, they have done wonderful. And being a last speaker, Shakti, you spoke about women empowerment and you got the Shakti, you're here only. Stay back here. Yes. Please go ahead, ma'am. Anita ma'am.
Yeah, so in conclusion, and seeing that the audience would mostly be teenagers or youth, so I'd like to just give one message. So the message has only 2 words, and it's about reduce and recycle.
Ah.
It's all aligned to environment. It's aligned to having a sustainable future. It's aligned to being happy. So what do I mean by reduce and recycle? So reduce, so which means whatever you need, you use to the minimum. Somebody, I don't remember her name, she gave an example on water. So use whatever you need minimum. So that reduce wastage is a very, very broad term. Reduce wastage in anything, wastage of food, wastage of water, not only water that you drink, water that you use, water, everything. And then recycle, meaning you ought to think as the responsible citizens of tomorrow. You ought to think what happens. I drink in a plastic cup. What happens afterwards? Where does this plastic go? I open a snack pack. I eat maybe the snack or the Lays. What happens? Do you actually know? Try and find out. Then you will understand. Then you will reduce. You will learn to recycle. There are a number of examples, but I want to just keep it there. I think all are smart, and a lot of these topics were touched by many people in many aspects, correct? So just want to leave these two messages. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Very kind of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude. Ma'am has given reduce and recycle. That is reduce and recycle. So, I'm just taking the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words from ma'am only, cycle. And the next session is going to be at 7 p.m. The boy who drove bicycle all the way from Delhi to Manipur, going up to the border, that is More, where from you enter Burma, you enter Myanmar, which is called nowadays. 3,000-kilometer bicycling and giving only the message, reduce and recycle. Reduce and recycle. No wastage. Don't pollute the environment. Save every drop of water. Don't throw litter. Don't throw garbage. Nothing of that sort. We all got to save. So I think it's a wonderful deliberation, wonderful input from Madam Anita Kane ma'am and all the 6 girls. So ladies and gentlemen, world over, green morning, green afternoon, green evening, all of you wherever you are, stay safe, stay healthy, and look forward meeting you. It's 6:38. I have got 12 more minutes to go. Prepare for the next session, and the whole world will see today 40 lakh youth are joining from the whole world this particular program, because this boy is later on is going world over, and his aim is, this pandemic has taken place, otherwise he was planning to go on bicycle from India to Japan. And that is the way, is the dream project. Anything which you do good to the humanity, you got to be different. We all are different. Let's do something good on this planet, whatever best we can do. And today's session, I'm so grateful to Tata Consultancy Services, and particularly I'm grateful to Anita Kane ma'am and my 6 little kiddies. Yes, somebody made a mention in between. Start feeling when you were in school or college and you were a teenager. I'm feeling I'm a teenager. I'm getting back at the age of 72. Way back to my school and college. Wonderful. God bless all of you. And this particular program will be live. This will be available to you on the YouTube. 9 p.m. onwards, you can see with your names, everything, your credentials, all that you can see. So God bless all of us. God bless the universe.